exposing Todd Chrisley's gay affair. After hiding a gay affair 22 years in the making, Todd Chrisley's secret has finally been revealed, and you guys are in for the shock of a lifetime. In case you haven't been in the loop, Todd Chrisley and his wife Julie were charged with bank and tax fraud. Numerous witnesses, including Todd's secret ex-lover and ex-employee, were called to court to testify against the reality TV couple. So in the early 2000s, Todd Chrisley allegedly had a steamy affair with his former employee Mark Braddock, and the craziest part of it all was that they were both already married. This story sounds like the plot of some forbidden 90s romance movie. So apparently, Todd and Mark were involved in an intimate relationship that lasted for almost a year, and during that time of the affair, Mark was actually an employee of Chrisley Asset Management, which makes the affair sound much riskier. And according to Mark, as he testified against the Chrisleys in their federal fraud trial, the two formed some sort of a brotherhood even after the affair had ended. I mean, who actually wants to remain friends with their exes after they end the relationship? And what makes it even more unbelievable is the fact that they were both married. So if you didn't think that this was insane enough, you're never going to believe what happened next. So this brotherhood between the pair lasted until about 2012, when Todd threw Mark out and threatened to call the police on him. I mean, is that really the way you treat someone who held a secret that could potentially ruin your entire life? I think not. But stay with me, guys, because now we're going to get into the juicy part. So during the timeline of their quote-unquote brotherhood, Todd and Mark started receiving anonymous text messages threatening to expose their forbidden romance and the fraud that they committed. But I'm sure we can all agree on the fact that they both cared more about their affair than they likely did about the fraud. So one of the texts they received read, "Pay cash and we'll shut up." And if that isn't bone-chilling enough, I honestly don't know what is. So the ex-lovers, or should I say brothers, sorry, I really couldn't pass up on that opportunity, but they ended up paying a total of $38,000, and these guys were so deep into their lives that they decided to withdraw the payment in 4 freaking sets, each time collecting a total of $9,500. And there's this saying, love makes you do stupid things, or something along those lines, and my point is that this statement couldn't be more accurate than it already is, because apparently Mark was so into Todd to the extent that when the Chrisleys were accused of tax evasion by the FBI, he allegedly decided to step in and help them commit fraud. And if this isn't some messed up version of true love, then I don't know what is. So Mark also allegedly decided to create fake tax documents for Todd and submit them to banks, and he even went as far as to impersonate Todd in his emails and phone calls. I mean, can we just take a minute to applaud the effort that Mark supposedly put in to help Todd and his wife? I mean, this guy was practically begging to go to jail for Todd, and I mean, how many exes are actually willing to do something that crazy? I mean, just take a moment to think about it. They've been broken up for God knows how many years, but remained, brothers. And when he hears the FBI is on your tail, he decides to jump in on a federal investigation and help you commit fraud. I mean, you might think that this story doesn't get any better than this. Well, you're wrong, because it actually does. So now, between their steamy love affair, battling a blackmailer, and deceiving the FBI, these two actually had a falling out. I mean, how do you go from one crazy and then the next crazy and then another crazy thing before actually hitting rock bottom? But these guys need to have their own spin-off, because this story is just too good to be true. But alas, they say every good story must come to an end, and well, people, you're never going to believe how this story decided to finally play out. So both men finally realized that they couldn't see eye to eye again, and this was the twist that led to Todd kicking Mark to the curb and threatening to call the police on him, and Mark, being the spontaneous gentleman that he is, decided that he needed to leave with a bang, literally. So in his ultimate revenge plan, Mark decided that the best way to get back at Todd was to create a fake email account and report Todd not only to the FBI, but also to multiple news agencies. I mean, look at it for a moment. Would a revenge plan really be complete if the media isn't involved? And I'm sure this revelation felt like a slap in Todd's face, but we're not here to play the blame game, because no one except the pair of Mark and Todd, that is actually aware of what caused the rift between them. And we all know people in general can only handle so much smack and whatnot before they decide to retaliate. And in this case, Todd retaliated through his lawyer, who claimed that Mark is obsessed with Todd and is trying to become him. But Mark wasn't having any of the accusation and explained to the judge that Todd was actually his first, and let me say, his first male lover, that is. And do you know what the most insane part about all this is? It's the fact that in 2017, Todd had publicly addressed his sexuality on the Dominic Natty Show, claiming that the rumors about him don't really affect him. And now that we think about it, it seems like, they weren't really rumors. Were they, Todd? I mean, although Todd did claim that all the talk about him being gay was just rumored, he didn't outright deny the fact that he is indeed gay. He just stated that he felt really flattered that people believe he can get, in quotes, with men and women. And Todd also said that his wife Julie also felt flattered by this revelation. And if you try to see things from her supposed point of view, maybe fending off women from her husband wasn't really enough. So why not fend off men too? Because the attention can never be too much for the Chrisleys. But Todd, on the other hand, believed that if he was getting that much attention, then he'd probably never go on a dry spell. And that's what he said. So can you guys actually believe that Todd Chrisley succeeded in keeping his gay affair a secret for literally 22 years? I mean, it's just mind-blowing, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I mean, why don't you guys just let me know in the comments below what you think of Todd's affair? I don't know what to think. Obviously, all of this stuff is coming out in court. It's alleged. To me, though, I've been a fan of the Chrisley Knows Best show for years and years and years and years, and I think we all can agree that the affair, if it is true that Todd Chrisley had an affair, I think we all can agree that it likely was with a man. Well, either way, guys, put in the comments below what you guys think. I love you guys all so much. You guys are just the absolute best people in the whole world. Do me a huge favor. If you like this video, hit the like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.